Happy Thanksgiving, everyone that celebrates that holiday, mostly here in the US. Hope you're all having a great day with your families. I personally just got some dinner reservations. Don't have to cook. I woke up this morning. It's still quite dark out. Actually, it's very early, but I had this thought in my mind for today's video, and I was like, so many people struggle with procrastination. They get product research, but they just really have a hard time picking something going forward. So I wanted to give you, I just sat down with my awesome handwriting. I wrote out 7 pieces of criteria that I actually teach in Savage Sellers, my course. And I'm just going to give those to you for free. Hopefully this kind of boosts you along and gets you on the right path. So let's get into it. My approach to selling on Amazon is quite a bit different from most people that I know. I haven't really heard anyone talking about Amazon FBA the way I do, with this brand building approach, made in the USA, high quality products. So I wanted to give you my 2 cents on the criteria side of things, because it's quite a bit different than everyone else. So the first piece of criteria I have highlighted here is I want 5 or more sellers to be doing $10,000 to $100,000 in sales. So first things first, we're going to change from products to keywords here on the Block Box by Helium 10 tab. By the way, Helium 10 is 25% off for 6 months. Whether you're an existing customer and you upgrade, or you don't have it yet and you're going to get started and you're going to get it today. There's 2 different links in the description, whether you're a new customer or an existing customer. Do not sleep on that deal. It is ending soon. It is their Black Friday sale. So really good opportunity to jump on that. All right, monthly revenue. That's where we started. So we're going to go 10,000 to 100,000, just like our criteria says. Now, here's the caveat. I would never want to really see sellers doing below that. That would just be too low. However, if we've got a couple sellers that are like 120,000, that's okay, right? The point is, you're not varying by more than like 10 to 20% on either end of the spectrum. And really what I like to see, not to make this confusing, but just to be thorough, is that there's sellers across that spectrum in my market. So maybe we do have a 12,000, we've got a 35,000, we've got 100,000, and a few like 15s or 20s. Okay, that shows me that sellers across the board are making a good amount of sales here, and there's enough customers to go around. I just need to come in, start stealing market share. So searches, this is where things really start heating up, because now we're talking about customers that are actively looking for something already. So I'm going to go, by the way, the piece of criteria that I wrote down is about 50,000. What I mean by that is total, though. So total of 50,000 searches when you add up all of your top searched keywords. So that might mean that any given keyword is only getting searched 4,000 times. And we'll go ahead and put a max of 50,000, just so that we don't end up with search terms that are getting searched 150,000 times. It's just too many customers at some point. There's too big of an ocean there. The other 5 pieces of criteria are going to be revealed once we look at products. I can show you them on the front end of Amazon. So here, I'm just going to give you some more, not really criteria, but suggestions of places I like to look. So I do like some stuff like these categories, and you could pick amongst them. So tools, home improvement, sports and outdoors, pet supplies, patio lawn garden, office products, kitchen and dining. You could do musical instruments. There's some accessory type products in there. We wouldn't want to sell an actual guitar, but we might be interested in selling guitar fretboard cleaner. Industrial and scientific, home and kitchen, health and household. And then we've got a few up here. So we could do baby, beauty and personal care, and then arts, crafts, and sewing. And that's probably good. Yeah, that's good. That is good. You could do grocery and gourmet food if you're willing to jump through some hoops. Those are good barriers to entry. Just probably not for everyone. So those 13, and then you can select them or unselect them as you wish, but let's start there. And then the price is more so whatever you can afford to source and whatever's profitable. I don't think it makes sense to say like you have to sell at this range, but do be aware that with a higher price comes more research, a more educated buyer, and buyers that are far more picky. So there's something called an impulse buy range, which is usually marked around the $50 spot and below, where customers essentially trust their intuition. They see something that looks good, they'll probably buy it. They won't consult with their partner. They won't, go do external research and look up, best versions of this product on YouTube or Google, which if you have great branding and you really put your time in, you have good PR, like that could be worth going for. But again, I'm just, showing you that all of these little things exist. For the sake of that, let's go 14, and then we're going to just max out. We'll just say at that impulse buy range, 15 to 50, 14 to 50. That's a pretty classic filter that, sellers across the board, even private label sellers, like to use. This is where I go into one of my biggest pieces of criteria on my list is it cannot be an aesthetic market. Probably could have chose a better word there. What I mean by that is the customer's only reason to buy shouldn't be what the product looks like, because then you're essentially selling art, and that's one of the most subjective and difficult things to sell in the world. Very live example. Someone just asked me this in my course recently, and I was like, yeah, don't sell that. That's going to be very hard to get a lot of people to be raving fans about it, which is slightly confusing because we make these package designs for our brands that are heavily aesthetic. However, it's a different thing when like the product itself is being used all the time or displayed, like decor. I don't like to sell, even though it comes from real experience. I've sold a lot of it myself. It's just hard to get that look right. Something like a daily planner, again, it's just like we get the idea of it, and now all there is design that's left. Bathroom mirrors, same thing. No one and then this brings me to one of my other ones. Like the customer must be an enthusiast for this thing, and I love if it's repurchasable. You better be taking notes. Okay, get your pen out, take some notes. Damn it! What the heck is an outlet shelf? It's an outlet shelf. Good example there. That's highly design based. It's like we want something that kind of just blends into the wall. Like I could be different and try and beat my competition by just like, oh, mine's red. Yeah, but no one wants that. Or maybe like 4 people want it, but like you're not building $1 million brand with that idea. In fact, I don't even think people would want to sign up for my email list. I don't think they'd care about my social media. Like I'm thinking that way. Does this customer care enough about this space to want to interact with my brand? Because ultimately we're trying to build a brand here. Now look at the difference here. Like a gun rack for truck. Despite your feelings on firearms, is this customer enthusiast? Yes, heck yes. And if given the opportunity to, would they follow this brand if they did a good job? Would they? Yeah, all of those things, right? So let's go ahead and open up Helium 10. Oh, you mean like the one that is now 25% off for 12 months? Yes, that one. And what do we got? So we got magnetic mounts are doing really well. Got truck rack. Wow, that looks like a piece of garbage. These ones are doing quite well. And you know what I don't see here? Okay, this is a good example. We'll use this market to go over the rest of my criteria, because I know you're here for the criteria. So it's not an aesthetic market. And this is, I think, a good mixture of both. It's a little aesthetic, meaning that like if we had a better design, it would probably stand out. But it's not like they're only buying it to display the thing. It serves a purpose and has a utility. It gets a job done. And one of the ways that we know this is we can make it quantifiably better. If there are different ways we can measure how good our product is, there's more ways we can win. Must be a problem to solve. Well, let's get into the whole problem to solve thing. What are people saying about this product? And that doesn't mean that the reviews have to all be bad. It's not quite what I was expecting. Again, just like a moderate review. This product's not quite what I was anticipating. It does serve the overall purpose, but I felt the quality and overall product was not as nice as I anticipated. So it's just a little bit of buyer remorse because they got a cheap product, right? It'd be better, like the clips pop off once you get 2 pews in it. Pews. Looks like we have a lot of customers gifting this as well. There are definitely some aspects of the product that we could design better, problems we can solve. And now, this is a strange one because most people say the exact opposite, but I like to look for positive reviewers. Like I don't want to see a bunch of 3-star, 4-star listings in the market. I see mostly 4.5 stars on Amazon. And that tells me that the customer doesn't just want to come and complain about things. And I know that sounds weird, but there are like toxic markets where it's just like everyone is complaining. People tried to fix problems, still they're complaining you didn't fix it good enough, right? It's like, I like to see that the general consensus is like, these are good customers to sell to, and they would recognize a high quality product if one existed. And then lastly, I like to see a clear route to branding. Now, I think it speaks for itself. Quick field trip over to a little website I like to call Black Rifle Coffee Company. If a company like Black Rifle Coffee Company can sell coffee in a way that's for gun enthusiasts, veterans, then certainly you can sell a gun rack for a truck in a way that does the same thing. We're donating a percentage of our sales to veteran funds. We are making it look a little bit more badass. I do think these are the customers that would spend a higher amount of money on a significantly better product. Maybe we do something like we figure out what type of like straps and materials the military are using, and we try and use that type of material or weave or stitch type, like, so we can use some of that marketing where it's like, this is like the closest thing you can get to like a military grade version of this product, and that's our branding. And there's, you know, a character on the packaging, skull type thing, and it's like, we could see the whole vision right there. Thank you so much for watching. There are now 2 amazing options on your screen. You could either watch another video here on the channel, or you could head over to Patreon where you could book a one-to-one call with me if you need some help vetting your products. You could even join Savage Sellers with pre-recorded course videos, new ones coming out every week, live Q&As twice a month, and monthly market recommendations by myself. And if none of that sounds good, there's also a completely free brand building framework down below. There's so many resources for you, and I'm thankful for you. So thanks so much for being here, everyone. I will see you in the next video.